Welcome to Raising Happy and Thriving Gifted Kids, a daily podcast where you get relatable stories, interesting lessons, and practical tips to help your kids thrive and be happy while enjoying your own life even more. So about 5 years ago, I went skydiving, and it's one of the coolest and most frightening things I've ever done. And it's also been a real learning experience because it's a pretty complicated technical activity. By the way, if you want to see something hilarious, look up the Will Smith skydiving story. He makes a great story out of it. But so as I want to do, I overdo stuff. So when I went to go for skydiving, I went all in. I'd never gone skydiving and I signed up for an accelerated freefall course. That means you learn how to jump out of an airplane, theoretically in 7 jumps before you make your first solo jump. And the first jump, you jump out with 2 instructors who are like holding you, and they can pull, on the cord and everything. So they can do everything for you. So you're pretty safe, and you have like a ton of instruction, a lot of theory and stuff like that. And it went really smoothly. Second jump went really smoothly. The third jump, they were like, wow, that's really impressive. You learn this really fast and you're doing really well, until I got to the 5th level. And I got stuck. I had to redo that single level at least 4 times. And it annoyed the heck out of me. And not just because it cost a fortune, which it did. But I was really done. I wanted to give it up because the hard thing about skydiving is like on the ground, you can do preparation all you want. But then you get back on the plane and your plane goes up and you're like in a lot of noise and you're looking out, they open the door and you're like, oh man, I'm at 15,000 feet and I'm looking out the plane. This is not a good idea. And your heart rate's like going 180. And then you have to apply your learning. And that's tricky because you might have had all the thoughts completely clearly mapped out for yourself when you were on the plane. But then by the time, you jump out of the plane, it all goes out the window. So I was really ready to give up, but I know myself. And pretty much every physical thing that I've ever done and ever learned, I wanted to give up after a quick start. I almost always, in the first 3 to 5 lessons of anything I do, when I went salsa dancing, martial arts, capoeira, CrossFit, pretty much everything I excel in the beginning, but after a while, I get stuck. Maybe you've heard this, but one of the things that I think I've seen a lot with gifted kids is that they have trouble automating things. And probably we'll get back to that later on in the podcast. But making things that your body gets used to it without you having to think about it, like that takes longer than for most people. So because I know this, I know I need to deal with this differently. So I made an agreement with myself. I can't quit. No, I'm not going to do this forever, but I can only quit when I reach level 5. When I finish level 5, then I can quit. And ironically, whatever that thing is that you're fighting against and that you're struggling with, is almost always that once you've done that, once you've overcome that challenge, you don't want to quit anymore. So the process about learning about yourself and learning about how you learn is so valuable. It helps you reflect. It helps you put stuff into perspective, but not just for you, but also for others. And I've made the point of discussing this with my kids and with kids that I'm teaching, because as adults, we tend to make ourselves perfect learners. We present ourselves as being done. We don't need to learn anything anymore. But sharing your experience, sharing our experiences in learning, in failing, helps them. You messed up a presentation at work. Share it. You're proud that you persevered on a project. Share it. So that's your one assignment for you today. What is one learning experience that you had that really helped you, that shaped you? And if you look back at that, what was the learning experience? And share that with your children. Share your meta experience, the thoughts that you had, the things that you've done that show that you are a learner. Share them with your kids because they can reflect on the process of learning instead of just looking at the end result. Okay, have fun trying that one out. If you liked this episode of Raising Happy and Thriving Kids, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast in your favorite podcast software. And if you want to dive deeply into all the things you can do to help your kids thrive, Be happier while making your own life more enjoyable. Go to smartparentingsecrets.com, where you can get free additional training. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and as always, bring out the best in yourself and each other.